Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Guys Being Dudes. This is the first episode of our new podcast, and my name is Logan Dieter.
I'm Sergio Beltran.
I'm Sam Scola.
And I'm Tyler Flynn.
And we have a great first episode for you today. We're going to be going over conspiracy theories. We each selected one, and we are going to share them out, discuss, ask some questions, try to solve it ourselves, and we hope you enjoy. So let's get into it. Welcome to Guys Being Dudes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that intro. Today we're doing conspiracy theories as mentioned earlier, and we each have selected one that we find very interesting and would like to share to each other. So I can go first. I think I got an interesting one. So mine is about D.B. Cooper or Dan Cooper. So it's November 24th, 1971, and he is at the Portland International Airport. So he buys a one-way ticket on flight 305 to Seattle, Washington. So this guy is in his mid-40s, I'd say, or like they say 30 to 50, so they call it 40s. And he sat down at the back left, the very back row of the plane in the middle seat, and he ordered a bourbon and a soda and had a cigarette as well. This is back when you could like smoke on planes.
Oh,
too,
wow. Okay.
which is kind of cool. But no, that's bad for you. So when the plane took off, he handed the flight attendant a note saying that he has a bomb in his briefcase and he needs her to sit with him like right now. So literally 5 minutes after the plane took off, he instantly handed her the note and was like, "We like I'm hijacking this plane." So he in the note it said he wanted 4 parachutes and $200,000 in $20 bills. And then he also wanted to he wanted to hijack the plane and take it somewhere else once they landed in Seattle, which was like their main destination. So he requested like a fuel truck, ready to like refuel the plane instantly, because he wanted to go to Mexico City. And he also, when they landed, which they landed like 2 hours after, because they were on phone calls with the FBI, because the FBI is trying to track him down like right as they're like flying. So they land like 2 hours after the planned arrival, which is like 7:50, and this is in November, so it's dark by then. They arrived back from Seattle at 5:30, so it's getting dark, and then it takes 2 hours for them to refuel the plane. So, because like at the same time, the FBI is also trying to like catch him, so he's kind of like they're taking their time, but they're also having some troubles with the plane because it is 1971. I don't know. There's just a ton of stuff. So they take off when he wants to hijack the plane 2 hours later. So this is 7:53, and his requests were they fly so they're in Seattle right now, so they want to go from Seattle to Mexico City, which is actually a long flight for the plane that they were taking. So they had to make a pit stop mid-flight to get fuel, and they chose on Reno, Nevada. So they were scheduled to drop at Reno in the middle of the flight. So they take off at like 7:30. So this is dark, and he also requested to have the back door, like the stairway that you jump out of in the underbelly of the plane. He wanted that to be open. So that's open, and then they're also flying in the pitch black, and they also have like fighter jets like tagging along with the plane too, like government put in
That's
fighter
crazy.
jets. Yeah, 'cause this is like a huge thing already. But he has like total control of like the pilot and the flight attendants and like the co-pilot and all the people in the cockpit. So they're not doing anything on him yet. But like they have like the FBI, and this is still like an unsolved mystery. So this is like one of the biggest like cases that hasn't been solved in the FBI's history.
Wow.
So
okay.
So he's flying, and then like again, like 5 minutes after the plane stops, or after the plane takes departs, he tells the flight attendant, go into the cockpit, and I don't want to be bothered again. So then that's at like around 8 o'clock by the time that they like actually get up, and then they don't even look at it, like go back into the main cabin door, because everyone's in the cockpit and they're too scared to go, open the door. So once they land, they open it, which is like 3 hours later, and then he's gone. he's gone, and then the plane is open, like the
So
stairway
he
as
jumped out the
of. So
back?
he took 2 parachutes, and then he took all the money, and then they don't know when he jumped out because they had like a 3-hour gap, but they concluded with like, because he had like a radio signaler because he wanted to talk to like the co-pilot or the captain, like instantly. So they sensed like a shift in like the frequency, or like I don't even know. It was like they sensed something when he like got like there was a difference between where he was at like high up in the air and then when he was down. So they only know like it's around like 8:15 when he jumped.
So that's pretty early, right? Did
So
they take off at 8?
but it's still pitch black though. So no one saw him. No one on the plane did, and the planes surrounding him didn't see it as well because it was pitch black. So and they concluded by the time that where they were at, so they matched like the time, like 8:10 on the flight was when they were like 30 miles north of Portland. So basically like right where we started. So they only know so they only know when he jumped off in like the general area, but there's so much dense trees and like forests in that area and like mountains, dude. So he could be anywhere right now, and he has all the money. And here, let me see if I'm forgetting anything else, but it is crazy. So none of the crew members saw Cooper jump, nor did the fighter jets that followed the plane. And the FBI calculated that he was like in the Portland, Oregon range. So this was in 1970, and there still hasn't been any arrests. I think that they've interviewed a ton of suspects. Like there is literally a plane jacking very similar to the one that DB Cooper had, 5 months earlier than that time, and it was by another white male in his 40s. But his physical descriptions didn't match enough to convict him and to connect that, even though they were very suspicious. But they literally have not had any like major advancements. They've had a ton of suspects. They found money in some river in Portland, I think like 5 years after, but it has been so dry, and also his name DB isn't even his real name. His name's actually Dan, but the media actually made his name out to be DB, which is super weird and obviously didn't help for trying to catch him, because maybe there is some confusion there between the media and what the law enforcement has. But it's insane how much investigation there's been, but how little has been actually found, or how little progress has been made on the entire thing. So he's still out there, or he may be dead even, because this was 50 years ago, something like that. But he never got convicted of anything, and he took $200,000.
So how did when they landed in Seattle, they put the cash onto the plane? Okay.
Yeah, so he requested 4 parachutes, and then
do you know why 4?
$200,000. Well, the parachutes were probably for jumping out of the plane.
Right, but why 4 if there's only one person?
Yeah, I'm thinking just 'cause I'm pretty sure this was also part of the story. One of the parachutes was a false one. If he jumped off with it, then
so he strapped 2. There's also they were talking about it because they're wondering who he was and who his identity was. So they thought they gave him a parachute that's made for the front of your body, and then a parachute that's made for the back of your body. I'm not exactly correct on the details, but I know that there was a right way to put on the 4 parachutes.
Yeah.
All 4 at once?
No,
there
were
different designs.
Yeah.
Okay,
So he did 2 though, and then the front and the back one. So he put them on the right way. So they were wondering if he was a trained an acrobat or something like that, or they got the parachutes from a skydiving place in Oregon. So maybe he worked there or something like that. So he did put on all this stuff correctly, and he knew what to ask for.
Yeah, and I think also he had some people suspect he had a military background too, and that's how he knew.
That's what I was gonna ask. Did he have any sort of concerning background
He was,
or something?
I don't know. I mean, there's so little about him. I don't think he did have any military background, but that was also a possible outcome. I remember they interviewed an ex-Navy SEAL or something like that. He was a person of interest, and I think was a suspect at one point.
Yeah, I remember I was super into these conspiracy videos. I watched a bunch of BuzzFeed videos and all that. And
there is a BuzzFeed Unsolved on it.
Yeah,
it's super sick. Yeah.
I also remember this one dude who was on his deathbed decided to confess about it and say he was D.B. Cooper.
Yeah.
But the thing is, his details didn't exactly match up. So he might have just like been trying to get like a last shot of like
like a last shot of fame.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So
Yeah.
we
Interesting.
honestly don't know. So what do you think he made it through with 100 and like with the 200K
Yeah,
and is
they,
alive, or
like,
do you think he died?
I mean,
the cash in the river seems kind of like. Do you know how much cash
it was like 10,000. It was
okay,
10,000.
so-
So it wasn't a ton,
Awesome.
but it was like
Like
it
how would
was
you
around
lose
the area.
10,000?
I think like one of the theories. Yeah.
I guess it's fair.
Because like I mean he won in 20s, so I mean
Yeah.
if it's I don't know if it was one freaking briefcase or
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a,
I mean,
it's
in
a ton of bands.
2019, one of the prime suspects died, which would like kind of match up with. I mean, I guess that's an old,
Yeah.
pretty long life.
Yeah, yeah,
So he's 40 in like 1970.
yeah. They said like mid 40s. You know he was like
But they don't even know.
you know I mean
nuts.
dude honestly I mean his what's the sketch that
Yeah.
the detectives make, well like what's the like official name of that,
I think it's
It's
sketch.
like just
Yeah,
sketch
just
of
like the suspect sketch or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, sure.
Okay, like that,
suspect- Yeah.
like it's super famous, and like I'm sure you've seen it
Yeah.
before. It's like he doesn't look like an alpha male or anything, or like a guy who you think
Shout out
no,
Blake
but like
Kemp.
he doesn't look like a guy you think would do anything like that. But you know he has like a certain look to him,
Yeah.
and like it's super interesting, and you know like the fact that his name isn't even like DB, and like it's like Dan Cooper, and he's been, you know, it's been 50 years and nothing has happened since
Mhm.
is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Despite all like this, because they have interviewed a ton of suspects, like I said, but there's always been like one thing like holding it back, or like one thing that doesn't match to where they can't have enough evidence to actually convict anyone.
Do they know why he wanted to go to Mexico City?
No, they don't have much on like his motive,
But
but
they know that was his motive.
yeah. He was like controlling like where all of them went. He was also like really in a hurry by the time that they landed and was like ready to refuel.
Well, I
like,
mean that would make sense. You know, if you're hijacking a plane,
yeah.
you probably don't be like, yeah, you know, take your time. Like,
I
it's
would have
fine.
thought he like would want to go to like the border or something like that. But
Did they ever find a bomb on the plane?
oh, you know, yeah, he had an actual bomb. Yeah.
Okay, so
He
no,
like
it
he
wasn't
like
like
showed
a
her.
it
in
wasn't
the-
like a bluff.
Yeah,
Okay.
there were sticks, there was dynamite. It was
Wow.
yeah, it was legit.
That's
I don't know where he got like. I mean, like it was that easy to bring a bomb onto a plane back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you could smoke a cigarette, and you
Yeah.
could like. It's crazy how
Yeah.
much like how different it is.
So like, it's just crazy to me that like some person would actually like be willing to just blow themselves up like if they don't bluff. You know, it's like
Yeah, I mean,
$200,000. Like it's a lot of money, but it's not.
He said in his note, he said, quote, "No funny stuff, or I'll do the job." So like he has a death wish
Yeah.
at least, at the very
They have
least.
nothing on him, not even his real name. Like this, you don't know what this dude.
Yeah.
did.
It's kind
Also,
of
the sketch of him has him in shades. Like they don't even know
Yeah.
like his eye
Yeah,
color,
well, no,
whatnot.
there's a sketch of him like without eyes, or like
Without
I
they
think
have,
the
like,
famous one is the one.
without sunglasses,
Without
without sunglasses. It's so interesting though,
Yeah.
like, and
That's
like
nuts,
I
dude.
might have there's one suspect who did die. I think it was that what you were saying though?
Yeah,
Like one of them died, and then on or no, that was what you were saying, on their deathbed.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Like he like confessed or whatever.
Yeah. But, he
But
might have been
but I think his wife said like, or like
That's
like
cap.
one of the guy, yeah, like the wife was like, no, he's been having like crazy dreams
yeah,
of like
yeah, I
being
remember that.
Dan Cooper or whatever.
That's nuts.
It
Just
was-
like
it's weird, bro.
hallucinate that you are like this famous mastermind plane hijacker.
Yeah. That's kind of.
That's crazy.
It's sick. It was super cool. And
It's
then-
also kind of crazy how like they literally have a cigarette of him like, but the technology there like just wasn't.
yeah,
advanced.
no,
So, like,
that's the other
yeah.
thing. There was like no evidence on the plane. There was it was like a tie he left on like one like the clips that you put like with your tie and your suit. He left that like a cuffling and a cigarette butt, but they had no like lead from that, even though, and they were like,
Isn't there a bunch of DNA on a cigarette?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
but
like,
I think it wasn't at the time where DNA testing was like used in trial. The first one was OJ, and that was like 94 or something like that.
yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, it was obviously not at this in the 70s, but
Mhm.
like they had like shocking little evidence was what they're saying,
Wow.
because he was in the cockpit, or he was in the cabin for like
And
you know,
nobody
like
well, I guess,
hours,
yeah.
for hours.
I mean, yeah, nobody got a picture. There's definitely no security cameras in
Yeah.
the airport
Yeah.
before.
Like the only physical like people, or the only people who saw him were the flight attendants, because because also none of the people on the plane actually knew that the plane was being hijacked. They were like, why is
Really?
this taking 2 hours long? Yeah, he was super discreet about it.
Ooh.
I mean, it was only the note, and then the flight attendant just went straight to the cockpit, so only the people, like the pilot, co-pilot, flight attendants knew.
That's you think
Yeah.
you think they told them once they landed? Be like,
I mean,
you guys
Yeah.
you guys almost just died.
No, they
They
actually
probably saw,
did,
like,
yeah.
all the extra
You're like, you're
hours and
welcome,
shit.
bro. Like, you're welcome. We
Yeah,
saved
you're
your
welcome for
life,
saving
bro.
your life.
Honestly, if
Oh,
you think about
jeez.
it though, that kind of was a best plan of action for him at least. Because like
Yeah.
Yeah.
if like
Yeah.
all the passengers find out, there has to be like at least someone who like tries to like, or there's gonna be like mass.
You're
like,
gonna have
panic.
somebody try to like be a hero.
Yeah, or
you
like
know?
mass panic and then like
Don't play
everything
hero
just
ball,
goes
bro.
Don't play hero ball.
Exactly.
Can't, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think like someone else had like a weapon? Probably. I mean, I bet someone. I
Probably.
guarantee someone had like a
There were
knife.
definitely like
I mean, he
knives
brought
or
a-
like.
Someone had a knife
brought
at
a
least.
bomb.
Yeah, no, like a
Especially
weapon.
that
I was like, I guarantee you someone had some weapon. I don't know, like a gun, probably not, but someone probably would have just chucked it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was mine. I mean, do you guys have anything else? We have any more questions, more thoughts on DB, Dan Cooper?
Well, I personally think that he didn't make it. I'm kind of like.
You don't
Like-
think he made it?
Made it from the
Nah.
first jump?
Nah, because
I
if
mean,
you think
bro, they
about
like
it,
search everywhere. They didn't find any bodies, dude.
true.
It's crazy.
It's also a forest though.
Yeah, exactly. He jumped off
Yeah.
mid, like.
I mean, they've had like
dark.
50
In
years.
dark,
though.
bro. You're parachuting.
You
that's
got
so
no
hard.
idea where
But
you're
that's
going.
so
But
hard.
you have no
in
idea
a
where you're going.
forest.
You have no
Yeah.
idea where the ground is.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No lights. Like what?
Yeah, like
I didn't see.
and then like once you land, how do you know where to go? You have no control. And then once you land,
I bet you could land though.
Dude,
But, like,
dude,
and then you
remember
have all
Mr.
those-
You can
Keong
see the
told us-
contrast between the sky
Mr.
and like the trees though.
Dude, on a
pitch.
stormy night.
Yeah, that's
It was
okay.
stormy
Maybe.
night,
So
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah,
stormy
no,
night.
but once you get
Was
past
it
the
raining?
clouds, though,
Was it raining?
it was. I don't
It's-
know.
yeah, it's
I don't know
not-
the
not a
exact weather.
cakewalk.
It wasn't good conditions.
Yeah.
though.
far from a cakewalk.
I mean, it was like November.
Also, remember what Keong told us? Like he was diving with this trained instructor with a light, and like they almost died because the ground just came up so fast.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
even
you're
with the light.
you are. That's a straight shot down. You're moving so quickly. Like
Well, yeah.
now that I
that's
think about it,
true.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he made it, dude. I mean,
and like
you're and you can still hold on to the bag of money too. Like
yeah.
that bag. I don't. Do you know
I mean,
what it was?
the
a
fact that
briefcase?
they don't know where the money is or his body.
I mean, he could have fallen
Dude,
into a
think
river
about-
and he just
That's-
could have flown,
yeah.
dude.
Or,
drifted.
or
They
if he
searched the
falls into a
river, dude.
forest in Oregon, like there's so many predators that are gonna eat.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Not
Like,
the
even if you-
briefcase full of money though.
But, like,
oh, no,
if
I'm
someone-
not saying that, but
I
say,
mean, I feel like they would have found at least some more of the money. I mean, we don't even know if the 10K that was washed up is from the.
Was it in 20s?
It was in 20s.
Oh, then I had that kind of.
What if it like
Mm.
zip, like the zipper broke some shit? Something like
I'm
that. I
thinking.
don't know.
I'm thinking
Mhm.
like even if he did land, he's in the middle of a forest. Like, how does
What
he
are you
know where to
doing?
go? Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
And then
'Cause he's
like,
not smart
Mhm.
about this. He's not like he knows.
I mean, I don't know.
exactly
He
what he's
just,
gonna
like-
he
do.
just decided one
I
jump.
mean,
yeah.
he did just hijack a plane for 200K.
Damn.
Sounds like a psychotic person.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
nothing much to live for.
And then like
Yeah.
let's say he didn't make it and like he died and then the money's there. Someone like rolls up. You think they're gonna return it to the FBI if they find 200K?
facts.
No. But the FBI did have a bigger reward for finding something about DB.
yeah.
I think finding DB at one point was like 500K, something like that. And then I think like it wasn't as much for
DB.
like giving like a lead,
Oh.
but like
yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I mean that's true though.
I mean, if
I don't
if
know
you
what I would do
find
if
the
I
money, they
found
probably
that much money.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
find $200,000 in the woods, what are you doing with it? You taking it to the police or you keep in cash?
Also, if you're in the middle of the Oregon woods, are you a person who like knows what's going on in the rest
True.
of the world?
That's a good
You're
point.
like a logger or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
What are you
And then
doing
like
yeah,
maybe a logger finds it and then he's like, what do I do? He like tries to bury it or something, like hide it. And then it washes up in the
No,
river.
I mean,
you're
no,
gonna
hold on.
bury it.
Okay, you come upon $200,000 in cash in the middle of the forest. Are you taking it? Are you turning? Like, what would you do with it?
I'm like looking around, making sure no one's being
You
shoot.
take it, but what
Yeah,
if someone?
that-
What if
I'd
someone
be
comes?
scared, bro? 'cause
Yeah.
I'd be scared
I don't
shitless.
know
What
if
if
a
people start
dude- I
looking
don't
for
know,
that
okay.
200? That's a lot of
I would
money.
probably
Your
leave
evidence,
at
like,
first
your
and then
finger.
like come back with maybe
with a gun.
maybe like maybe police. I don't know, dude.
Ooh.
I
Maybe
think
the
I'd take half
police.
of it and leave the other half and be like, I found $100,000 here. I don't know what to do
I
with
think
it.
it'd be a trap.
No,
I'd be
but
too scared
then they're
to
gonna
leave
find
those
your
things.
like fingerprints
Dude,
along
you
like
see a
along the
duffel,
briefcase,
200K.
bro.
But then you can just pull an innocent. Oh, I didn't
I would-
know. I just found this. It's
And
not.
and you were just like
I would instantly
You're
think
just
it's drug money.
going around.
I'd be like,
Well, yeah.
yeah, I take it as like, is
I
the
mean,
cartel
bro,
gonna
there's
come
no
for me?
like.
They
There's no
burying it in the fields.
I mean, all the
Bury you
money
in the
that's
fields.
in a briefcase
Shut up,
in a Portland, Oregon forest is dirty money. Like it, like
True.
you don't want to be touching any
Yeah.
of
But
that.
dude, if you're in the middle of the Portland forest, like Oregon forest,
You have no idea what's happening.
one, what does your life look like, right? Like
I don't
depends,
know.
like,
Maybe
how
you're
deep
maybe
in
you're
the
going
woods.
on a hunting trip.
Yeah, maybe you're
That
camping.
is true.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
you're-
maybe
maybe
it's
you're
some like
camping.
Camping.
Is
Yeah.
that a crime too? If you just see that much money and then take it,
I mean, yeah.
that's a
Is
crime.
it?
It's not
Yeah.
like.
Is it a crime?
stealing, Is it?
It technically is. It's not your money.
But whose is it?
Or no, well,
Mm.
or it's like,
Government's
or it's
eventually
like,
gonna-
or it's like aiding in like crime though, because
exactly, yeah.
But how do
There's
you? How
like-
do you but what
Yeah,
if you
what-
don't know it's crime?
it's still,
What
it's
if the
still,
FBI
it's
goes,
still,
you're an accomplice of DBQ.
yeah, you're still
Picked up his
able to
money,
get.
yeah.
to
Oh,
get
like
tried.
you
How
you
are
were
you supposed
he
to
dropped the
know?
money, you went to go
Exactly,
pick it
yeah.
up.
There are some things where
True.
like even if you don't have intent, that you can still get tried for,
Damn.
and like and helping in a crime is one of them.
Yeah.
So like you can still easily get convicted of anything if you're moving it. I don't know. though.
it would be really hard to look at 200 grand on the ground and not take it.
200 grand. I know, but
I mean,
that's
dude,
like
especially as like a
that's
logger
like,
in
that's
the
like too
forest.
much to not feel safe, bro. I would be scared.
I
Yeah,
could
I'd be
after a
scared.
while,
I'd be
bro.
scared for
I'd be like,
the
you think
rest of my
You
life.
thinking
Yeah.
200K on the ground and like you're not like you're any corner, any wrong turn, bro. Like
For real.
you're peeking over your
I
shoulder.
think
You're
I
not
think
just
I'd
thinking
leave
like,
it there
oh,
for 3
dude,
days.
I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I'd
you're
leave
not
it there.
chilling.
You
That's,
know what?
that's too much money.
This
on
is
the
much.
ground.
You leave it there
If
for a
there's
couple days,
everything.
see if anyone else comes and takes
That's
it.
what-
Come
yeah,
back with a few of your
exactly.
buddies with
Yeah.
some rifles.
And then
Come
just
back with
and then
some
travel
brews and
opposite
some-
sides
yeah.
of the
Brew
world,
some
bro.
rifles.
and
And then you're chilling.
Some bucks.
then you're leaving home with 200 more,
200K,
200,000 more
Yeah.
dollars.
Oh, then you have to split it with your buddies. Though.
Ooh, how
I
you
don't-
gonna decide
I say
it?
keep the bros out of it.
Oh damn, you went for the team.
I take one, bro.
You take one,
Yeah.
bro.
I'll take one, bro.
And
Alright.
then you do
The-
50-50.
The three of us. Who would you
One,
take? Who would
bro.
you take?
One more.
I'm gonna take Dieter, bro.
Hell yeah, I
Mm.
knew
my
you were
guy,
gonna say
'cause-
me. Yeah,
My guy, I know he's got a pretty good shot. You know,
yeah,
shot with him a few times. I know he'd be on high alert. You know,
exactly.
Skull would be climbing the trees.
I'll be
and shit.
guarding.
You'd
Yeah.
split it 50-50?
Oh,
Yeah,
would you
yeah,
split it
yeah, would you
50-50?
would you like a finder's fee?
I
would.
think like a
Finder's
60
I would
fee?
be. I would be fine with a finder's fee. If
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
if it was like
So what do you think? Like
Even
70-30?
70-30.
70-30.
So what's what's
70-30,
30%
I'd
of
be like,
200,000?
yo, maybe 60-40.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
like, yeah.
And then you
You,
end
I
up
you
think-
push for 60-40.
65,
Listen, if I'm a
35.
logger in the 70s, I'm going 60-40, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
anything, like 50-50 even, bro. You're set. You're a logger.
Yeah,
100K. I mean,
100K,
yeah,
bro.
True.
that's true.
that's a lot of money.
Exactly. That's 70s too.
Yeah, true. True.
Facts.
True.
100K is probably more than you made in like your life.
It's like
3 years,
It's
yeah.
more than
Something
more
like
than yeah.
I mean, if you're a logger in the 70s,
Easy.
how
You're
much-
not
Dude,
making
that's
any
like
money.
that's
You're not
like
making
5
You're not making
years
anything,
of like
dude.
that's like 5
especially
years
when there's
of
that much
stuff you can
tree
say.
still. Like it's not it's not like
True,
value.
there's a lot of trees.
There's a lot of trees.
Yeah,
No,
hella
there's not
trees, bro.
deforestation in the 70s.
Ah, true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, Sergio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
mine kind of like isn't a lot about crime, but kind of like puts a spin on one of our favorite movies, Finding Nemo.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
this like conspiracy theory kind of suggests that the movie Finding Nemo isn't actually about like Marlin and his son Nemo like going through this journey of like, you know, Nemo growing up and like being independent, but it's like rather about Marlin going through the 5 stages of grief and that Nemo actually never really existed. So if you think about it, like if you think about
That's
the
hella
beginning of the
sad.
movie,
That's so sad.
That's-
what are the odds that like there's a barracuda attack and like his wife and all his kids like die except for one? Like if you think about it, even that in itself is a little bit weird. But then
It's a little fishy.
yeah,
Wait, yo, sir,
I don't even think
I
about that
haven't
one
seen
before.
or like it's not, like I don't know. I don't remember what happens in Finding
Oh,
Nemo, 'cause I've
okay.
seen it like once, bro.
for like a
I don't
Pixar
even,
movie.
I don't remember seeing it.
For
I
a
don't remember
Pixar movie,
seeing
it's
it
like
like that.
actually extremely sad. But in the beginning, Marlin is like sleeping, and then like
Marlon's the dad.
Yeah,
fish,
Yeah,
by the
okay.
way.
I know
Dad,
Marlin's
yeah.
a dad.
And
He's
then-
cool. I like
yeah,
him.
he's pretty chill.
Super chill.
And
I
then-
know like Dory
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. And then like
I actually
At
did
night-
see Finding Dory though.
oh, Finding
Yeah,
Dory was a
cool.
good ass movie. That's
Yeah,
like
sorry,
8 out of
keep
10
going, keep
recommendation.
going.
Yeah, and then like at night there's a barracuda attack, and like he ends up going for the eggs because like that's what they eat. They eat like
yeah.
the little eggs, and then the wife tries to protect them and kind of dies in the process. I know, it got me turned up.
Dang,
And then
dude.
Marlin pulls up to the cave where all the like eggs are at, and then sees that nothing is there. Even his wife is missing. And then when you see that shot, and you see the cave, everything's empty.
That's like when it starts.
Yeah,
that's like
exactly.
when it hits. Damn.
Because when they show that scene in the movie, like everything's dark, everything's empty. There's like no sign of anything. And then he turns around, and then once it like reshoots the scene, then there's apparently like one little egg that pops up out of
Like
nowhere.
in like the reef or whatever. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
Interesting.
a little weird that happens. So the theory kind of suggests that the movie is about him going through the 5 stages of grief.
So do you know what the 5 stages of grief are?
Yeah. So like it starts with denial. Like if you remember, Marlin doesn't
He
want.
freaks out. He's like,
he
no.
freaks out.
He
He doesn't want Nemo to go anywhere. He doesn't want him to let go.
Oh.
And then it moves on to anger, where like he kind of scolds his son for like trying to get out of his control. And then it moves on to bargaining, and this is where Dory comes in, because he tries to like bargain with Dory,
Yeah.
who's like has horrible memory loss, and like you can tell like there's something a little off about her. So even that in itself is a little weird. And then he moves into despair, where like he sees physically like his son getting flushed down like the toilet.
Oh.
And then it like moves on to acceptance, where like the final shot is like him saying goodbye and like Nemo going into a void. So yeah,
Nemo's like going away for good.
exactly.
Wait,
And
but
even-
the Nemo died at the end of the movie?
No.
No,
There's
like,
no
no.
way.
He's just like
There's
leaving.
no way,
out his
there's no way they're
imagination.
killing Nemo.
No,
bro.
they're not. They're not. He's just like leaving the nest. You know. He's like,
Yeah.
he's all grown
Oh,
up
so
now.
he's like he's on to like his own thing.
But
right now.
he's
Yeah.
but
so
his
he's like
dad
in
he's
this
he's all
theory-
grown up.
But in this
Yeah.
theory,
Yeah, okay,
Marlin's
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
letting him
Acceptance
go,
is-
accepting
is
it.
Yeah,
letting him go. He's
yeah, for
out of
sure.
like he like fades into
Yeah,
like the water,
exactly,
right?
That's cool.
And like if you remember, like all throughout the movie, everyone's telling like Marlin to like let go of Nemo, like,
Right.
let him go, which can also be like just let him go mentally.
Wow.
And even in the movie, like
Whoa.
Marlin and like Nemo travel to this place, this like lake, or it's called like Lake Under or something,
Okay.
and that's like kind of like the underworld. It kind of symbolizes the underworld.
Oh,
lake is
like the Greek mythology, like Hades and like the underworld where the
Yeah,
dead people
yeah,
that
exactly.
have died go. Okay.
Mhm. So and then this
Good
is like
connection.
the kind of they travel to this thing called the Land Down Under, which is like aka the underworld.
Okay.
And this is really the shocker here.
Okay.
Guess what Nemo means in Latin?
Oh yeah.
What is it? What is it?
Nothing.
No one. So the
Oh.
movie is physically called Finding Nemo.
Oh, dude.
And that, I know, that caught me by
That's
surprise.
insane.
And like when I was watching this YouTube video, I was
Damn.
like, damn, how can a Pixar
That
movie
hit
get
hard.
like that deep? You
Dude,
know?
Pixar movies
That's
can
nuts.
be deep,
Pixar is
bro.
like the king.
Yeah.
of,
Pixar is elite.
More meanings. Dude.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know, was that the one like Inside Out?
Yeah, it was.
What about that one?
I don't know.
But that was a deep
No,
movie.
no,
It was a
wait.
deep movie.
I
I don't remember it. I
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know
You know
what
Inside Out?
mean.
Yeah, that was, and I
That
think they
one
did.
Yeah.
Oh, they just did the movie Soul, which was like super.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
Soul.
that was a
That
good
one-
movie.
yeah,
that was
I
a
watched
good
that
movie.
with
That was
my
really
family, and
cool.
that
was
was
really
like-
cool.
That was like spiritual, like damn.
Pixar's
you know?
insane,
Yeah,
dude.
no, Pixar's nice with it, but
Dude, it's Pixar and it's Disney too.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
so I'm in the class Fairy Tales right now with Mr. King. Shout out Mr. King.
Hey.
Great, love him. And we're talking a lot about how like they make these stories like that seem like super kid friendly, right? But they come from these like more dark, meaningful like fairy tales. Like, you
Yeah.
guys are like the Grimm's fairy tales,
yeah,
where they don't always end up so nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, you're right.
what's it?
There's the Cinderella story, or the one where they slip on the glass.
yeah,
slipper or
that's
something?
Cinderella. Yeah.
Cinderella. Yeah, I think like the actual story, like they actually like cut off like their toes to make the like slipper fit.
Yeah,
Ooh,
dude.
the sisters,
There's
like,
just
actually cut off their toes to make
no. There's this like
It's, like,
hella
dark.
terrible like
Yeah,
dark
no,
stories
oh,
of like
no,
the
I do
OG,
know
like the
that,
original
yeah.
fairy tales.
All
like,
these all
they're
the stories are
super
really
dark.
dark.
Yeah.
They're
like
really
the,
dark. They're
the
so
Rapunzel
twisted.
one is like
They're so
she
twisted.
falls
dude.
out of her castle, and then like the prince like gets his eyes poked out by like
Yo.
Yeah,
by, like,
no, it's
uh,
like it's
like needles or like thorns. It's like
Oh,
it's a
dude.
lot more. It's a lot more brutal, but they have like these more meaningful like
Mm.
things in them,
yeah.
but they're just portrayed differently.
Uh-huh.
So
So it's like
it's-
kids versions are more like
right, you
abridged
have
and
these like
more
kid versions
PG.
now, right? And
but don't
I-
have the meaning still, or
no,
or is
they
it still
it's a different meaning, right? And they keep the same storyline. It's just it
Yeah.
has a different meaning, right? Because they
Okay.
change things to make it more kid family friendly.
Mhm.
So I wonder if that's sort of what Pixar. That's because it's Nemo Disney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Oh,
that's
I
what they
think
were
it's-
doing.
Yeah, Pixar.
Uh,
It is Pixar.
um, I wonder if that's what like they were doing here. They want to have this like kid friendly movie, right? On the surface level, it seems really like laughable. It's like, oh, it's like one of the best animations of all
Yeah,
time. Like
yeah.
everyone loves it. But in reality, they're trying to show like this.
Person going through the 5 stages
Yeah.
of grief, like
Yeah, it's-
accepting the loss.
That's
yeah.
like crazy to think about. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
That's deep. Yep.
kind of
That's
nuts.
sick.
That is it.
You know,
I
there's
like
like a
that
bunch
theory.
of
I
like
like that
kids
theory.
like associated things that have much darker meanings. You know,
Mhm.
like the
There's
nursery
so
rhyme,
much.
Yeah.
like London Bridge is
Yeah.
falling down.
Yeah.
Like the Black Plague, and we were like singing that at like 6 years old.
Yeah.
At least like I was.
Yeah, no, I was too.
Yeah.
That's.
Wait,
I don't know.
wait,
I don't know
what's
why.
it
I don't
like,
know why.
Also, like
We're just
Ring
talking
Around the
like
Rosie,
that.
isn't that super
Oh,
dark?
Ring
and
Around the
dark?
Rosie.
That's what it
That's
is.
the Black
That's
Plague.
what it
That's-
is.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Ring
I'm
Around the
tripping.
Rosie, dude. It's kind of
And
like
then
dude, it's kind of like the
ashes,
honest when
we
you're
all
like
fall
singing
down.
through it.
Yeah,
It's
Bro,
sad.
crazy.
That's sad, bro. It's like,
Five, bro.
damn, we're just like we're singing about like death,
Wow.
and we're like it sounds like it's
No,
like
but it's chill.
haunting,
It's chill.
too.
It's chill.
It's chill,
It's
though.
chill.
It's chill. Yeah,
That's
no, for
cool.
sure, it's chill. Yeah, no,
That's
that's
cool.
yeah, that was my conspiracy theory.
Wow.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
I did like that one. So mine, I'm talking about the Denver International Airport. So for those of you who don't know,
Great airport, by the way.
it is. So where the conspiracy theory sort of started was that it took 2 years longer than it was supposed to be built, and an extra $3 billion,
$3 billion.
which is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And there's multiple buildings under the ground that they then built on top of. So that they built super deep. They have, it's like 6 or 7 levels beneath the ground. And they have these buildings under the ground, and then they built the airport on top of those buildings. Right? And there's these crazy long tunnels that go from the airport out and like just within the airport. And people have these ideas that just like started formulating like what's going on down there, right? What are we're not being told about, like what's going on. And so like some of the ones are like there's underground tunnels, right? That's where like the world leaders meet. And it's kind of like, well, it's no one's gonna know about it. So there's that, and then there's the blue horse on the outside, which made believed to be cursed. It's when you're driving out of the airport. It's like it's right there. It's this huge horse. And it's when the artist was making it, it actually like part of it fell off and it killed him. And so there's kind of some eeriness going around there.
It just straight up killed him.
It's
Yeah,
it like fell off. It fell off and fell onto him and it killed him.
Jesus.
It's pretty nuts.
Was it? Is
On
it
the
like
spot?
made out of-
already, bro.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
what?
What is it made
Extra
out of that,
$3
like-
billion too.
It,
That's
no,
crazy.
the horse is huge. The horse is like
I've seen the horse, dude. Or
it's
like
like 14,
it's
15
scary
feet tall.
too,
No,
dude.
more
The
than that. It's-
eyes, bro.
Is that like made out
It
of
is
metal or
big. It
something?
is big.
yeah.
Oh, it is.
It's
I think it's
super
metal.
big.
It's huge.
Damn.
It's nuts. Then they have this dedication on like who the airport's dedicated to, and it's dedicated. This is crazy part. It's dedicated to the New World Airport Commission, which doesn't exist. And it's like
Sounds like New World Order.
right, the New World
Yeah.
Order.
Real,
That's
bruh.
what everyone thinks is like the New World Order, right? Which is the
Yeah,
single
that was, like,
government. It's like
huge at
the
that
apocalyptic.
time, yeah.
Like if
That's like
shit hits the fan,
Illuminati,
like, this is-
right?
right.
Yeah.
it's Illuminati, like
Are those interchangeable?
I
Are
think
those
they are
like-
the New World
okay.
Order, right? Because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
single
Okay.
like
Yeah,
higher like
Yeah,
higher
like
group
that,
of
like,
people.
Yeah, okay.
So the fact that the airport's dedicated to that's just bizarre. And
That
then
is weird.
there's art all over the place that has like there's a lot of themes of like death and genocide, just like around it, right? They spent a lot of money on the the artwork in the airport. And despite the artist saying like, oh no, it's not like that at all, like there's very clear like motifs and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
throughout the airport, which is just bizarre.
Me and Jung saw that like walking through like freshman year. Like he even pointed it out, and then I was like, yeah, there's a bunch of like conspiracies about it.
Yeah, and they have
It's,
these
like,
like
eerie.
dark gargoyles like just peering
Oh,
down onto
yeah,
people, and
that's
like
so weird.
the eyes
like
are like
no
they just,
airport needs that. Like,
No, they
why is
don't.
that in an airport?
Just
It-
fly the planes, bro.
It's just for real. It just
Yeah.
seems like Illuminati decoration.
And they also have like so many extra hangars and like buildings on the side that they aren't ever used, but like people see them go in and out all the time,
What?
which is nuts. And then like,
Wait, you
What kind of
just be, like,
people?
private hangars.
no, but there's like they aren't private hangars. Like the airport says that nobody uses them, which is
I
crazy.
mean, Denver's got a big military presence. Like,
Right. And then there's
Yeah.
also like people think that there's underground tunnels going from there all the way to Colorado Springs, which is where the I think it's the Air
the
Force.
base, yeah.
Oh.
so, But there's still like
Shout out, Dally.
Dang.
there's it's still really far away, but it's kind of nuts. Like, why would you make an international airport like the base for such like Okay, let's say it is
Yeah,
true,
I don't
right?
know why it'd be at at an international airport. Like it seems like that's the
And
last
then, like,
place you
in
want to
Denver.
have it.
I mean, that underground part though, like makes
Yeah,
sense.
maybe it's like the
Like,
only
they do-
spot with it.
I don't know. Like,
It's also easy
isn't
just
area,
to
where's
get.
Area 51 at?
That's in
Nevada.
Nevada.
Ah, damn.
That's in the middle of the desert.
Yeah,
Tough.
that's like
people are
super
calling it
out
Area
there.
52 though,
Yeah, I saw that.
which is kind of funny.
There's no way they can keep all of this stuff down though.
Yeah.
What?
Six stories.
It's
Okay,
like
6
no
stories
one-
is
Six
a lot.
stories,
Dude,
and
though.
that's a
like
lot.
That's a lot.
Buildings on top of buildings, like
That's
Yeah.
insane.
that's
Damn.
nuts.
If they wanted to, like, say the government like was that type of organization, like it'd be easy, especially in a state like Denver. There's like so much land. Like, how are you gonna know if they're building a tunnel under like ground?
Right, you're not. And it's also like, you've been to the airport, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing really. It's 7-8 miles like to the side of the airport,
Yeah.
but like right around the airport, there's nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing. So you could
Yeah.
do whatever you want in that area. You know, it's kind of crazy how much space there is. But yeah, I thought it was pretty
I
wild.
believe it. Makes sense.
Um,
Makes
Well, dude,
sense,
like
bro.
like you said, 6 stories underground.
yeah,
That's like
and $3
first-
billion
What could that
dollars.
possibly be used? Okay, the only thing I'm thinking is like storage. If like they
dude.
need.
Dude.
You don't need
Dude,
What-
I'm
what are
trying,
you
I'm trying to find a
No, no,
what are you
cars, I
storing?
don't know.
Cars?
Cargo, bro.
Which
Like
cars?
tractors,
I
like
think
the like air like the
Snowplows?
cars that move stuff. Yeah,
I feel like that
I
would
think
have
that
been
there's
made
a
cars
much
that
less
transport
sinister
stuff?
explanation, which is
Yeah.
just like
I'm just trying to think of
they're
other
heavy
stuff.
intensive on military operations down there. you
Yeah,
know?
there could be.
Or there's like a lot of conference rooms with like.
But
stuff.
what aliens?
You're-
I saw something- I saw
aliens
something
are
really
just
funny.
discussing about stuff. at the
You know,
conference
many
room.
people-
Aliens to
We
the,
just posted
aliens to
6
the
stories
conference
down.
room, bro.
Planes overhead. There's
For real.
Let's chill out.
They don't even need.
There's
sun,
a
bro.
there's
When are we
the-
gonna pop out? Where we dropping?
Hey, yo,
back to,
where we
boys?
going?
there
Where we
there's a
going?
few more
Love some
things.
kids.
So a lot of people believe that the airport's the home to a colony of lizard people. That's a very
Lizard-
that's a very
We're
popular
gonna
belief.
cross that one out.
Lizard
And then
people.
there's a time capsule under the dedication I was talking about earlier that's meant to be opened in 2094.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dude.
That's plausible. I just don't know what's good. Like
Wait,
What's
does that- what
what's
does that mean?
plausible?
Yeah, what
the
does that
fact that
mean?
there's a time capsule.
Yeah, that
But
makes
like
sense.
But
Okay.
how are we
Okay.
just allowing time capsules?
What do you mean, bro? You
That's
put
like
like
the thing, though.
you put like antiques or like souvenirs in time capsules, bro.
2094,
Do we know
like
what's
100
in?
like
Yeah,
so
we
it's
know
built
what's
in
in?
1995. So you,
Dude, that's
99
the
years
point of
afterwards?
a time capsule, bro.
Do we know
So
what's
we-
Yeah, but
in?
why does an
in the
airport need a
future,
time
bro.
capsule?
Because it's
Yeah,
cool.
well,
'cause
it's under the
something that you
dedication to
do.
New
What's so
World
crazy about a
airports.
time capsule,
Okay,
bro?
well,
Nickelodeon
It's a little
has
sus.
one.
I'm a little
Nickelodeon
sus.
has a time capsule, bro.
True.
What has a time capsule?
Nickelodeon.
But we know what's in it.
They
What's-
dedicated
What's
the
so
New World
crazy
Order.
about a time capsule,
Did they
bro?
dedicate it to the New World Order?
We can allow the time capsule idea.
Yeah.
Under the
Okay.
dedication.
Well,
to
like,
the
what
New
would be
world
in what would be in the
Airport
time
associate-
capsule to make
whatever.
it
Okay, no, it's not
so
the New World
so
Order.
desirable?
I'm tripping.
Well, okay, it's the New World. Wait, the New World Airport Commission, which doesn't exist.
How does it like not exist?
Yeah.
Did it
Look it
like,
up. You can
did
look
it,
it
did
up.
it just stop existing
yeah.
after the
No, it
airport
never
dedicated to
existed.
it? It
There's
never
no
existed at
history.
any point in time.
Ever.
He's the like.
How
He's like the commissioner of this
Airports? That's not a
airport-
thing.
No, like the Denver airport.
Okay.
Someone commissioned it, right? Is he like a troll?
No, you don't like troll about the
Is he a
dedication of like a
troll, bro? Yeah, is he a
multi-billion-dollar
No way.
construction.
We do a little trolling.
Okay,
No,
how do
I-
they get like how do they get an extra
Troll.
$3 billion funding though too? That's
That's a good-
that's another
I
point.
think it's
It's
New
crazy.
World-
military.
I think
military
it's
spending,
military.
Go with that one.
increased G, dude.
6 stories, like they're probably like developing like all sorts of bombs.
That's what
I can
Area
see that.
51's
I can
for.
see that.
You're not going to develop bioweapons
Under
underneath
an
an
airport?
international
No, no, no,
airport.
but 6 stories down, not directly under.
Still.
Okay, so
though.
like a couple feet to the side.
But
like-
why on?
No,
Why
yeah,
underneath
yeah,
the
just
airport?
3
What if
feet.
what if something goes wrong?
Dude, they have an Air Force base a few.
Bro, if
miles
something goes
away.
wrong,
not a few
they're
miles away,
just
it's like
screwed in general,
Hundreds,
dude.
yeah, a few hundred.
So why don't they just go?
Why
like
don't they just
50
do it there?
50 miles like away from
They
the
probably do
airport.
it there.
They probably do it everywhere.
that's
huh?
fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's fair.
true.
Maybe we're a biological experiment.
Okay.
Anyways, Tyler.
Horrible take. Oh, we're moving on.
We're moving on,
I
That's kinda
think.
fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine
I like
is
that one.
on the assassination of John F. Kennedy, which
Ooh.
occurred on
Let's
November
go.
22nd, 1963.
Okay.
2 months after my father was born, actually.
Shout out, Dave.
Now,
Dave Flynn.
so there's so many like ways to approach this, so many conspiracies. I'm just gonna go like low level. I'll explain it the way the FBI wants it to be explained, and then
Yeah.
I'll
Okay, that's
They
fair,
wanted-
that's
they
fair.
wanted to
some
be.
conspiracies just to get some simple facts straight. Kennedy was just on a visit to Texas, campaigning there, trying to like up his support in the state. His wife had just lost their son. They had like a miscarriage. And this was the first time she was in public in a long time, obviously since the death of her son. And so she went with him. They were driving on Elm Street in Dallas, and in the car it was him and Jackie Kennedy, and then the Texas governor, whose name is John Connolly, and then Nellie Connolly, and then a guy named Bill Greer. They were in a top-down convertible, just driving through these streets in a parade, and he didn't want any security in the car because he told them he wanted it to be like there was nothing between him and the people. It's like a typical thing for a leader to do, except
Understandable.
not very smart if you're in a convertible. So like the closest security was like a car behind him, but if anything were to happen in the car, like they couldn't do anything.
Right, you can't because it's convertible. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the FBI report is that 3 shots were fired by a gunman in the sixth floor of a building, some ways across the street, and that he was killed on impact. Or he died a few minutes later on the way to the hospital, but pretty much dead with 2 shots. One entered the back, a little few inches below his like shoulder line, and came out through his neck, and then one popped him in the side of the head. It's a pretty gruesome video, and you can like see his like brain splat out and whatever. And then one, they say the same one that hit him in the back and went through his throat ended up going through the back of the Texas governor, and then through his wrist, and then through his thigh, and it stayed there.
How
Jeez.
fast is
So-
that
Yeah.
bullet?
Oh my
How
God.
powerful
So
is
it went
that
through his
gun?
wrist and then in his thigh.
Well, his thigh's on his leg.
So
okay.
he's
He
resting
whips
like
around
this.
though. It's like one of the seats of the car where you
Oh,
can like whip around,
yeah.
right?
Oh, those are
those are
sick.
so- those are
Those
so
are
funny.
sick. Dude, why don't they
Okay.
have those anymore, dude?
Dude, because they're like
Dude, 'cause
super
they're so
not
unsafe.
safe.
Yeah,
I know, but
It's
still,
so
man,
not.
still,
It's like
still.
you're
It's
instantly
It's sick to
dying.
just
Uno.
360 or like just like 180 around.
That's nuts.
And you're just
Okay,
boom, back to the car. dude.
Anyways, we're gonna ignore it. I'm gonna come back to that crazy conclusion.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
that doesn't make any sense. But so the shooter they believe he acted alone. It was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Did he ever confess?
No, he got shot.
Oh, he got
before
shot.
he
Oh.
could, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm
Are we
getting
gonna
into
get
that.
into
Okay,
it?
all right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
It's a
uninformed.
meaty one.
So they believe he fired 3 shots, one after another.
All 3? Are there only 3 shots you said?
Yeah, all
Okay,
three.
so then
Yeah.
you fired all 3.
Yeah,
Okay, bet.
That's the belief or whatever.
Okay.
And then let's see, where was I? Yeah, so he is like he's got a background, not a good guy, right? He was like spent a lot of time in Russia. This is in the Cold War, mind you. So he was actually on the CIA's watch list. A few months earlier, he had like a friend of his had like conspired to try to assassinate another governor. I'm not exactly right on who it was, so I'm not going to claim that that's a fact, but I believe it was something like that. But so the CIA had him on his watch list, right? Because this guy is like doing something in Russia in the Cold War and just a sketchy guy. And a week before he shows up in Dallas and kills the president of the United States, they take him off their watch list, which means
Why?
no reason.
After a friend of
Classified. It's a CIA.
Okay.
a friend of his
Fishy,
tried to kill
fishy,
a governor.
Yeah.
Fishy.
Okay.
But listen,
Fishy, fishy.
I need to get that part
Collusion.
right.
Okay.
But so they take him off. This sort of watch list is a watch list where they say anyone important coming to this town, anything big happening. These are the list of people that we have. We need to make sure none of them are there.
How
So
many
it's like a
people are on the
screening.
watch list?
I'm the CIA classified
yeah.
information.
So you don't know?
Sure, a bunch.
Yeah,
no,
no.
of course not. Not in CIA. Not yet.
If this was mine, I would have known.
After this airs, they might give me a call. But so they take him off their like watch list a week before, which means they don't know where he is, and they don't like care to know. They say he's like cleared or whatever. So that's, I don't know, maybe a little weird after having him
Maybe
on for that
a wee
long.
bit.
And then he's in police custody a few days later, and this guy named Jack Ruby, who's the owner of a nightclub, this guy with a troubled past, had been arrested a bunch of times, was violent, served in World War II, had like a violent history, owned nightclubs in Vegas and Chicago, supposedly had ties to the mob, might have owned them something or something like that. But he's Lee Harvey Oswald's in the Dallas City Hall in the basement. Bunch of police and reporter and like public is there, and they're doing whatever like
Press interview.
yeah, something like that. And then Ruby pulls up as Lee's walking out and just shoots him in the middle of broad daylight. Like shoots him dead. Ruby died like a few years later, but he wasn't like killed on scene. So that is like the main level thing.
Okay.
There was a bunch of conspiracies regarding like the single bullet theory, which they call that single bullet that went through the back of John F. Kennedy and into John Connolly, and supposedly riddled through like his whole body, and then ended up in his thigh.
Did the Texas guy, did he die too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jackie like climbed onto the roof of the car for some apparent reason after like John was shot. I think it was like to try to get to the security.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the
I think
security-
she was trying to escape at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
The security like moments before the shot, he was riding on the back of John's convertible,
Mhm.
and then he walked back and got on the other car
Mm.
right
Damn.
before. No, but
Mm.
this is I don't know. It's it's the first lady's like main security guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's fishy. I think
Mm.
that's like he's been interviewed. He said like he regrets it to this day. I think it's kind of like he just like decided to relax. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Wait, I can't remember. Was John John was sitting like up on the seat, right? So he wasn't like sitting down on the seat. Like he had like his whole body exposed, right?
Yeah.
Or, like
Entire body.
like
Yeah,
the,
he
you
was
know
a
what I'm saying?
convertible.
Is like he was sitting like this, right?
Yeah,
so he had,
his
like,
feet were
entire
on like
back.
where your
We're
where
on
your
like
butt
where
usually
you
goes.
usually sit. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
not
Okay.
exactly. It's
Really?
not like his feet
Oh.
were on the seat. Wait,
I
he's
thought
like
it-
popping a squat.
No. He's
Well,
like
he's
it
just
would be
like,
like
he's
video.
just like
No,
high
it's
up
it's
on
like you're
the
sitting like this, you know. No, and like
yeah.
and,
Oh,
like
no,
your
and,
no,
butt
and
the
like
roof
and
of the
that's the
car.
car seat.
No,
not the roof of the car, but like
Well, it's a convertible.
Yeah, so he's
Right,
sitting
sure, we'll call
down
it the
like
roof, yeah.
propped up because like I remember seeing like the footage and he's like very high up in the car, so like his entire upper body's exposed, right?
To an
Yeah.
While
extent
he's
because it's
getting shot.
convertible, but he's
Yeah.
not sitting
Oh,
like
okay.
higher than his wife or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like the angle that the camera shot is
Skull gets
exposed.
what I'm getting. at.
no,
You
no,
get
I
it,
understand.
yeah.
It's okay.
So-
We can move on.
So he shot 3
I can show
bullets.
you the video.
And
Yeah, that's the belief. Look,
What's like
see him?
the
Look,
significance of
like
it
he's
being
not
one
propped up
bullet?
at all.
Like
Okay, no, he's sitting
Oh,
down.
man,
He's
there's
sitting.
there's color.
That's
he's-
when he gets
he's
shot
sitting
through the
normally.
back of his throat.
Yeah, okay.
It's a convertible. I don't know.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
pretty it's we were wrong. We were
okay,
wrong.
I was wondering.
Okay.
So
Anyways, yeah, the theory. What's the
okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
the first thing, the single bullet theory, is like I described. First of all, that theory came about through something called the Warren Commission, which was established by Richard Nixon a few years later to try to get to the bottom of this assassination because there was so much like debate about it. No one believed, or like very few believed that it was just one shooter who acted alone and like no suspicious activity. So they set this up, and the Warren Commission came up with like the single bullet theory that bullet traveled through John and then into John.
Okay.
So that bullet would have had to go through like a back brace, 15 layers of clothing, about 4 to 6 inches of muscle tissue, and then obviously the wrist of
Okay.
the governor,
Okay.
and then land in his thigh. Now the actual bullet that they showed, that they found the bullet,
In his
found the
thigh?
bullet on his gurney in the hospital.
On his what?
like the gurney, like what they rolled him in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They found it.
Oh, okay.
Like somehow it was there.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
seems clean.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Totally,
super clean. Okay.
They just found it. And then the picture of the actual bullet is like a bullet that's in pretty pristine condition.
Not one that's gone through all
Not
those
one
things.
that's like gone through a bunch of.
Well, to be fair, it's a
bones
piece of
and
metal.
stuff.
Like, is
Yeah,
it gonna,
but like
No, but
all that.
if it
yeah, that's
hits,
a little-
if bullets hit bones, they don't normally look like pristine. They're
Yeah.
normally at least like
Okay.
a dull end or something like that.
Okay.
Especially going through that many.
I mean,
like,
did it look washed
layers.
off? Did it look clean? Did it look like?
well, yeah. I mean, they washed.
have you seen the
the
bullet?
picture of the bullet? Yeah, I have.
Can you pull that up?
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys,
Okay.
if you
Let's
want.
go.
Are
I was
there,
about
like,
to-
So
blood
so
stains
what's
on it?
the what do people think that happened if it didn't go through all that stuff, right? Like
They believe there's another shooter
in that.
who
Okay,
would have
so
hit John Connolly.
so the dude, what was his name? Harvey Lee Oswald.
Lee
Yeah.
Harvey Lee.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So he took like one shot, and then this another guy took more shots.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Okay.
their. That's
How
like
far
the
apart
belief.
were the shots? Do you know?
I mean,
It
it's
had
like
to be bang, bang, bang.
yeah,
right?
it was super quick.
So I mean, what was his gun that Lee was firing? Wasn't it a long range sniper? How do you fire that many?
Yeah, it was
that
a
quickly?
rifle.
Did they ever find the gun?
Yeah, but the gun was
It was
left
in the
building,
room, right? Yeah.
Oh,
which is, I mean, I guess makes
Isn't
sense.
there like a famous like picture of Lee chilling in the hotel? I swear I've seen him in there
Of
before.
what?
Of
maybe.
Lee in the hotel
Yeah,
from where he shot from.
I'm not like in the actual window. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm not.
There's
sure
like a
about that.
picture of like it was like out of total coincidence 'cause it was directly behind him was where Lee was watching. I
Mhm.
remember that.
So it's called a
and-
Mannlicher Carcano rifle.
mm.
Fired from the Texas School Book Depository. Here's the actual bullet. If I don't know, you can't really see.
Yeah, it doesn't look very banged up. It looks
I
pretty
cannot
clean to
see
me.
that.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean.
It looks like a fresh.
Not
It
very
looks like a fresh
banged up.
like it's like it hasn't even been fired.
Like no dents.
I mean, it's like shot though.
There's
right?
one end that's like slightly compressed or like flattened, but it's slight. And I was listening to a podcast on it and with Rogan, and
Mhm.
Rogan was saying that he's talked to a bunch of like military and hunter guys who have like seen what bullets look like after
Yeah.
they go through bones in a body, and that like they never
Sounds
look
familiar.
that pristine.
Right, even with I bet bullets nowadays are even stronger
Yeah.
than the bullets
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, that too.
Mm.
I mean,
But the
It's
thing I don't get about that is like, how can if it was a conspiracy and like all of this is true, like why can't they just get a bullet that's like more banged up? Like why, you know?
Yeah,
if
wait.
it's
So
trying to
like,
co-
so like,
well,
where's the other? Is like, is
this-
the true bullet not even like?
Yeah,
like, are they trying to hide it?
Yeah,
Or,
if they're
like, is the
trying to, like,
government
cover it
trying
up
to
and
like,
hide it.
the actual bullet, or like
Oh, I
why
don't
would they even need to or
Yeah.
want to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
That's
know?
actually a good question. But this bullet, like, if you're asking why they couldn't like damage it more or whatever, like this bullet, if it is the real bullet and was somehow just on the gurney, which somehow just
Just
decided to
got-
come out
yeah.
of him,
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that, like
It's pretty bizarre.
Maybe a
that-
doctor just did it like and just forgot to put it back. I don't know.
yeah,
maybe,
that's the other thing.
maybe
There's
they
so
were in
many
such
like
a hurry. I don't know.
there's so many people want it to be like one way or the other. You know?
Yeah.
There's no like room to be like, oh, did this person like?
I mean, there's
make
a
mistake,
million
you know?
possibilities.
True.
like,
Yeah.
especially for something so crazy as that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so do they think there's one other guy, two other guys, so three total? Two
Originally, like the Warren Commission proposed the theory that there was two gunmen, but
Okay.
then that theory was overruled like some time later, and it was decided that that was inaccurate and that he actually could have fired 3 shots that quickly. Like that's
Yeah.
the first thing, 'cause in the actual film, it's like so fast, and they were like, "There's no way you could like do that." But then like a military general like was able to prove it. But I don't know. It's like the United States military, you know.
Yeah.
How-
Wasn't Lee like an ex or didn't he serve in the army? Or am I just
I'm not
mistaken
sure.
with someone else?
He definitely had a background like
Yeah.
that, though.
I mean like I bet you have to be very skilled to fire that accurately that fast.
Yeah, that too.
Like, dude, I mean,
don't know.
I mean, he like that was.
I mean,
like,
yeah, going 2 for
perfect
3
aim.
on a moving car.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
He did have the perfect angle, but still, like that's insanely hard.
Yeah, and it was a drop top. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
so weird. A lot of people think that the CIA wanted Kennedy dead to like motivate the American people
for the war.
to take down Castro in Cuba, because like I don't know.
But then
Um,
why wouldn't
because
I feel like they'd want
they
to
were-
frame a
they were gonna
person
paint-
from Cuba though, not Russia.
Because he had run-ins. They wanted to label him as a communist, and like he did have some sort of run-in with like a Russia, Cuba, like
Okay.
China. Some like they labeled him as a commie. You know, that's
Okay.
what they
Yeah.
did. And so like I don't know.
It's a pretty
some
good setup
people-
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
In that
people think
case.
that that's what it was, but also that's definitely like I don't know. It's a reach. We're like.
I mean, if that's a reach, is lizard people in the Denver airport.
Well, I mean, that's.
I don't think that's a
I
reach.
don't know about that one, man.
Tyler, there's another like conspiracy like kind of similar to the one about like why the CIA. It was where like FDR apparently knew about Pearl Harbor, but
Mhm.
he didn't mention it because he wanted a reason for the U.S. to go into the war. But I mean,
Really?
it's been largely disproven. Like I mean, like it's like it has very little like
Evidence.
it has
Yeah.
very little merit to it. But like it was like that's like even though that's like a thought is like interesting to like think about is like maybe like like I mean I don't believe it at
Like
all,
our
but,
leaders
like,
kind of
but still
screwing us
though,
over
like,
to,
I don't.
it's
to
like
motivate
Bro,
us. Like
that's pretty.
that's
No,
a,
it's
that's a
fucked.
bit of a
You
reach.
choose that many
it's-
lives
yeah,
just
it's
to
not good.
motivate us to
Yeah,
fight a war.
exactly.
Give us a reason
But
to get
it's
in.
similar
Yeah,
though, just
but-
like
And then
It-
lose
Yeah.
even more lives. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
he did he
terrible
he
take.
didn't want to go to war
Yeah.
though.
He
He
did,
wanna
he
go to
did.
war.
You need a reason to.
Okay, so I have a few like remaining points that are significant. One is there was no autopsy in Dallas like conducted because he just like died, and they moved the body immediately to Maryland, like a
Mhm.
military autopsy like supervision. That's what
Yeah.
they wanted. Like the doctor who like normally leads the autopsy was like not allowed to be in charge of it. There's only like a select people allowed to be like in the vicinity and even in the room. He was like told what he could touch and what he couldn't touch and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
The photographs that came from the autopsy who were taken by this photographer, that photographer claimed that he never took those photographs, and that like someone else did that, and that the brain that they said was JFK's was a brain that was fully intact and was slightly like larger than normal, which is definitely not possible because he got shot in the brain and his like matter sprayed everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's like a few more reasons to
So
be
like, what do you think
suspicious.
that means? That he never died? Or
No, he for sure died.
So, and
He's dead.
what's the takeaway from
They're
that? you
probably
think?
just trying to cover up like more things.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what that
Funny.
takeaway could be.
It's
but
just kind of
It
fishy.
is definitely
It
a little
is, yeah.
suspicious.
A little
of
fishy.
something,
well, because
yeah.
maybe his real body was like riddled with more wounds. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but I don't understand why hide it. You know?
why hide it? Because then that can prove that there wasn't just one shooter.
Yeah.
Oh, in that like,
yeah.
That it was like a multi.
like it could have been an inside job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
there's
know.
multiple shooters.
Or
yeah.
just makes them look worse if they can't even get the second guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know about like an inside job would be crazy.
Having like a presidential
Dude.
like
He
assassin.
was
just
not
running.
liked by the mob at all.
Really.
Like,
JFK,
he had,
yeah.
he had enemies, but
He definitely did.
I mean the mob.
He didn't really care about anybody but America in like
yeah.
in terms of like economic performance.
Also,
and
no
stuff
one liked
that.
like his father. Like his family wasn't liked.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
dude, his family's cursed, bro.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
Like
there's this
that
theory-
conspiracy theory, or like, it's not even conspiracy theory, just like
I just-
It's a
freaky
fact. That's a
coincidence.
fact.
Dude,
It's just like
crazy.
coincidence. Like it's insane how like cursed they are.
There's
It's
this
nuts.
one more theory that was debunked. This was called the Umbrella Man. So it rained in Dallas the night before, but it was like clear skies and sunny by like 9:30 that morning. Now in the actual film of the president being shot, there's this one dude dressed in all black holding a black umbrella when it's like a perfectly sunny day. And he happens to be in the frame the second the first shot rings out. So people thought he was like in on it or something like that, or trying to block the camera. But it turns out like that was a protest to John's dad, like Joseph P. Kennedy. And because of his appeasement policies, 'cause he was an ambassador to the court of St. James in 38 and 39 with like Neville Chamberlain in Britain and like those appeasement policies there. So that was like a protest to that. But they thought like
Didn't he have like? I heard something. He had like a skin condition too. Is that true or no?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
That was like a guess at first, but yeah.
Okay.
But they like he testified and that's what
That's
it
cool.
was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine.
Well, right on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good
The
stuff.
only thing I don't get, like, if they're trying to cover up like that brain thing, like, it'd be so obvious you're like trying to make a exit wound on that brain. You know, the one
Yeah.
the new one they try to use. Like, how do they just like skip that when they
That
try to
is
cover
weird.
shit up?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so weird.
I don't
Yeah.
get that part.
All right, to end each episode, we're gonna try to serve you guys well with a nice song recommendation to close it off. So Scola has one, and we'll play it as we end the episode.
So it's one of my favorite songs right now by one of my favorite artists right now. His name's Rob Curley. The song is it's an intro to one of his more famous albums. Wouldn't call it famous. He's not that famous, but it's called Young and in Love. So yeah, we'll play it for you right now and get a good listen.
See ya.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.
Yeah. Young and in love, and we dumb, and I know that this love is the one. So you ride and I ride, and our souls intertwined. And we know. If it looks like love and it smells like love, then it ain't love, you know. Cause love don't look good, and hell no, love don't smell right. If it looks like trust and it smells like trust, then it ain't trust, you know. Cause they gon' lie for no reason, so they gon' lie even more. You gotta love yourself and don't insult yourself, and baby, do it for self, and that's real. A little self-restraint, a little self-esteem, a couple leafy greens and no pills. Say, if it looks like love and it smells like love, then it ain't love, you know. Cause love don't look good, and hell no, love don't smell right. If it looks like trust and it smells like trust, then it ain't trust, you know. Cause they gon' lie for no reason, so they